Good morning, selamat pagi, and salam sejahtera. Welcome back to another productivity webinar series hosted by Malaysia Productivity Corporation. I'm Abby and I will be your moderator for today. So the topic of our discussion here will be nudging for an alternative in financing business in the new decade. And our speaker for today will be Encik Djuan bin Abdul Rahman from the Akademi Usahawan Mikro Sdn Berhad. So without further ado, I would like to welcome Mr. Djuan to share his presentation and to share about himself. Please welcome.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Whoever need to join, I will be sharing about alternative financing from a behavioral insight perspective. Okay, let me just run through the slides so it'll be easier for all of us. Okay, all right. So behavioral insights on alternative financing. Okay, why I choose this topic? Because it's very close to me. I know that entrepreneurs sometimes having difficult times to secure capital to ensure sustainability of their own business. So therefore, I believe this topic will be hopefully will serve as an eye-opener and also an option for them to source for financing. Okay. So I just would like to read out the report just on the headline on the age that SC annual report in 2020 have reported that ECF and P2P platform with two crowdfunding initiative saw a big leap in the capital raise. What does that mean? It means that there's more and more businesses are seeking a crowdfunding platform in Malaysia to basically satisfy their financial needs. Okay, Suruhanjaya Security or Securities Commission of Malaysia has come up with a guideline in 2016 and have awarded RMO, which is recognized market operators, to several companies in Malaysia to operate crowdfunding. Okay. So what is alternative financing? Alternative financing refers to financial channels, processes, and instruments that have emerged outside of traditional finance system, especially with the development of fintech domain. In Malaysia, it's under purview of Securities Commission of Malaysia to spur local economy from alternative source of capital. So as what I've mentioned just now, it's under the purview of Suruhanjaya Security Malaysia, and it's totally different from the conventional or the traditional banking system. So the normal banking system falls under the purview of Bank Negara Malaysia, whereas the alternative financing falls under the purview of Suruhanjaya Security or Securities Commission Malaysia, because it involves capital. Okay. A quick run through why SMEs been declined bank loan, or it's maybe seems difficult to certain industries or SMEs to secure bank loan or even sufficient bank loan for their ongoing business concerns. Okay, first will be a lack of consistent cash flow. You know, as SMEs, we have to struggle with our own operation expense, and also we are very highly dependent on cash flows from our customers. So whenever our customers kind of drag our payment, then we get stuck in between. So therefore then we have a situation we don't have a consistent cash flow and very consistent payment in and out. So I think that's most of our challenge. And then insufficient collateral. Sometimes the bank requires collateral to cover their risk on the loan that is being dispersed to SMEs. Then our debt to income ratio, maybe our debt is higher due to circumstances then compared to our ratio of the income. Yeah, okay. And then customer concentrations. This one it depends on the business to business. Sometimes the customer concentration, SMEs may have like less than 5 or maybe dependent on 1 or 2 customers for them to survive or to run their daily operations. Okay, so I think banks would see that as a risk for them. And then if insufficient credit score, I'll be talking this insufficient credit score later. I will touch that a bit detail. And then personal guarantees, I think some of the businesses also having a tough time, especially the owners, to put a personal guarantee on it. And then insufficient operating history means that the company is recently established or does not satisfy a 3-year operating concern or 3 years audited operations by the company, by audit firms. So therefore, banks see it as a new company. Then on economic concerns, depending on which economic cycle, SMEs will be the highest prone to risk of closure because of economic concerns. That also, play an important role on the bank consideration. Insufficient management team, usually SMEs, sometimes they work less than 5, less than 10 people. They don't have a proper management team. They have, maybe the owner themselves is also the manager, running around on the marketing operation. So therefore, it puts the business, the SME, into a few people, concentrated on a few people. So it becomes a risk for them. And also weakening industries. Certain industries, perhaps I would say maybe logistics, mining, certain industries that banks would try to avoid or have less exposure on it. So I think that's some of the reasons that we see why SMEs will decline their bank loan application. Okay, so I took this in from the Business Journal 2014. Okay, why alternative financing is crucial for businesses. First is the flexible financing. So when you talk about flexible financing, the businesses are able to have more than options to what the traditional banks offerings. For example, the banks are offering a term loan or OD facilities, or even bankers acceptance, a combination or like facilities, a revolving credit. But with crowdfunding, they might be a bit more creative in finding a solution for SMEs. So they would, because they will be directly dealing with the entrepreneurs, and they will understand the requirement of the entrepreneurs much better. And this and the layer is very flat. Therefore, decision making and also understanding the business is crucial to this flexible financing. Secondly, it's the application is made all online. It's since it's a new industry. Alternative financing is considered a fintech company. So therefore, most of these alternative financing or crowdfunding takes online application. So we don't have to print a whole bundle of documents, spreadsheets and all whatnot. We just need to prepare that and digitize it into maybe PDF file, and then we send it over to them for their credit department to go through and process the application. So that makes it much easier, rather than you have to travel and then you have to ensure that they receive the document and whatnot. So everything is done online and it's fast. Then thirdly will be fast fund disbursement. Okay, fast fund disbursement, we compared to banks, they take about a few months. because I think because of the internal processes and the it's a requirement by Bank Negara. They have a lot of compliances, whereas crowdfunding companies or alternative funding companies, they have a flat organization, and it's done seamlessly, because one, that the money is parked. This is under requirement of Securities Commission. The monies from the investors or even from the businesses are parked under a trust fund. Maybe it's under Maybank Trustee or Public Trustee, or a few other banks that offer the trustee services. Therefore, the money is held in trustee and it's not under the company's account. So it's fast. Whenever the submission or the fundraising has been completed, then it takes one instruction from the platform to the trustee to transfer out to the recipient. So I think it's very, very efficient, and the fastest I think disbursement, usual disbursement will take about roughly 1 or 2 days. So it's very, very fast compared to bank normal processes. And then it complement also the traditional financial institution, whereby I just give you an instant. Let's say a bank give you a facility of 1 million, but of course they don't fund. In most cases, they don't fund 100%. They would fund maybe 80% in normal circumstances from amount required. So in this case, if you take up a 1 million loan, you have to come out or fork out 200,000 to make up that 1 million facility. In this instant, a crowdfunding company, say P2P, can come in and make up that junior portion of the bank loan. So it's easier for the businesses to seek some funding while waiting for disbursement. Imagine if your financing is 10 million and you have to come up with 1 or 2 million. It depends on certain companies, but as I know, many companies or many SMEs will be struggling to come up with that amount of money to basically take up the financing facility. And last is able to raise funds from public, both retail and also institution. So this is what we call it, a new methodology or a new avenue for businesses to secure funds, because if you look properly, this is a highly regulated industry, and Bank Negara, especially Bank Negara and Securities Commission, are very vigilant on money laundering and any breaching of the Financial Services Act. So this is very tightly regulated. So with the Securities Commission, awarding the recognized market operator to few of the companies locally, the license are able for them to collect money on behalf of the company as a platform and transfer to the business, and business also could pay back to them. So they have this license to receive and also transfer the money. So that's very, very important. And even I just would like to warn some of our friends. It's even a company to company advance. It has no relationship, is illegal. So it's very tightly controlled, whereby you cannot consider advancing your money to another company without any call it relationship. Okay, types of crowdfunding. First, we have the equity crowdfunding, and secondly, we have peer-to-peer lending. So there's two crowdfunding type under the crowdfunding. Okay, let me share with you. This is from the Suruhanjaya Security website. Please check them out before pursuing further on any other service providers, because you want to make sure you need to ensure that they are listed under Securities Commission, to ensure they are valid companies. Yeah. Okay. So there's a list of it. I just show on the next slide the logos of these companies. Some of the companies still maybe in the development stage, but most of them are already operating. So we have 1337, we have Etis, we have Funded by Me, Eureka, Crowdfunding, Ataplas, then My Starter, Pitch In, Crowd Plus, Asia, Fundnel, and then for P2P we have Capital Bay, Capsphere, Alex, Funding Society. Funding Society is the biggest in the for the P2P. We have Fantastic, Quick Cash, Microleap, I think co-founder, Cap Bay, and also Money Safe. You can check them out. I think they are all available online, and as well as submission. They have an online a chat to ready to take your inquiries. Okay. Okay, what's the equity crowdfunding? Equity crowdfunding is an online mechanism for private companies in Malaysia to raise money from investors in exchange for equity shares in the company. So the method of this crowdfunding, the equity crowdfunding, is the company will part a certain shares in return for capital injection from investors. It's just like selling your shares to another person, but this is you're selling to you're opening your shares to public. Usually this is allowable if only if you are listed on Bursa Malaysia, or call it on the public bourse. Yeah, maybe Nasdaq or Singapore Exchange or KLSE, So but now I think they have loosened up a bit. They have opened this small equity crowdfunding for small time startups or even SMEs in Malaysia, for them to raise capital. Okay, I just run through the equity crowdfunding process. Okay, maybe if you are interested, then you can see this is the usual steps. It might vary a bit from one to another depending on the companies, but this is usually the normal steps. Okay, first step, whomever are interested will submit all the applications. They have their own standard application form you have to fill up with all the required documentation to the ECF platform. Then the ECF platform will run a due diligence company on your company, as well as reviewing your business plan. Once they are satisfied with the the performance, as well as the queries been answered, they will offer you the letter to accept to be on their platform. Okay, once that done, ECF campaign will be launched. But here the entrepreneurs will have to pitch. You have to have a pitch deck, and the entrepreneurs themselves will be appearing in a few sessions to present to investors directly. Usually it's done online. We do it all online. So let's say you have 50 interested retail investors, or even institutional, or even sophisticated investors would listen to your presentation, and you will present maybe around 20 minutes, and then you have a Q&A after that. They will ask you about your vision, your cash flow, there's a lot of inquiries that you might want to answer to them directly. Okay, so upon satisfied on the answers, most probably they will invest in your company. Yeah. Okay, the ECF campaign will usually be open for a duration, let's say 3 months, until the fund is fully subscribed by investors. Let's say you need 1 million, so you will pitch to them. Maybe you do this pitching maybe early of the month, middle of the month, end of the month, until it's fully subscribed, until that 1 million is fully subscribed. There's a lot also cases where it's oversubscribed because the the team or the business model is interesting to investors, so they believe in that and they would invest. Okay, after 3 months, if your pitching your fund is not up to mark, then they will close the crowdfunding, and then they will see whether on step 5 whether you have managed to raise more than 80%. If it's less than 80%, I believe it's stated that somehow or rather you have to return the money to the investors. But you are allowed to try on the next time. You can run another campaign on the same campaign to make up the investment opportunity and try to make it more than 80%. I think that's quite normal in any investment, whereby you have a minimum threshold that you have to meet in order for you to for them to disperse the amount to you. Okay. Step 6 is interesting, whereby the ECF company, let's say Etis, they will represent all the investors, because these all the small investors, maybe 500, 1,000 ringgit, 5,000, 10,000, they make up that 1 million. They will hold a certain block. Let's say it's 10% of the company, and that 10% of the company share is trusted under the purview of ECF company, let's say in this case Etis. So they will hold the shares on behalf of all the small investors, because in the first place Sdn Berhad could not take more than 50 investors. So by doing this, they have another SPV. It will save the process, not having too many shareholders, small shareholders in your company. Therefore, it's easier for you to call for AGM and whatnot. Okay, and then once you they have come on board, means that they have your share equity. They may or may not be represented on board. That's not call it mandatory for them to become a director in the company, but they have to be represented in the equity part. Okay. And then the fund raise will be transferred to the company. You can use it as what stipulated in your pitch deck for your operations, for your marketing and whatnot. Okay. Okay. This is another crowdfunding. It's called peer-to-peer financing. So peer-to-peer operator facilitates businesses or companies to raise funds from both retail and sophisticated investors through online platform. Considering that the primary objective of introducing market-based financing is to help build businesses, which in turn spur and promote growth of economy, but not for personal financing. Through the SC registered platform, an investor may invest in an investment note or Islamic investment note issued by businesses or companies for a specified tenure with expectation of predetermined financial return. So they have their ROI as well as the capital gain. Capital as well as the return on investment in terms of dividends. For this, you want to look into businesses, because P2P doesn't lend for personal financing needs. Let's say you want to buy a car, a house, or you want a personal loan. This is not the place. It's only purely for businesses. They're looking at it because they want to, because SME contributes, I think about 40% of national GDP. So this is a huge, in terms of GDP on the contribution to the nation, as well as the biggest employer to the citizen. So that's why they come up with this, to help the SMEs to grow with the capital through crowdfunding and P2P. Okay. Okay, so the process of peer-to-peer lending. Step 1, as previously mentioned for ECF, keen companies will submit all the application with the required documentation to P2P platform. P2P platform companies, usually they have their own credit assessment team and also their committee. They will run a due diligence check on the company, on the directors, and review the credit standing of each company. If they need more explanation, they will write in for you to clarify a certain part of the business nature. Okay. Once passed, the entrepreneur will sign the letter of offer with the platform operator. Then the P2P team will publish a term sheet, or we call it a fact sheet, on the P2P platform to showcase to potential investors. Okay, so in the fact sheet, there is a lot of information, because the investors have no information on the company, but they are dependent mostly on P2P operators to run a credit check and also do the credit assessment for the company. So they will basically highlight to the investors key criteria and key risk factors in the fact sheet to enable the investors mitigate risk, whether they are comfortable with the risk or they are not comfortable with risk, or they want to see what's whether the company has strong standing to repay the loan. I mean, the not loan is financing. This is usually the normal questions or the normal criteria that the investors want to know before investing into the company. Okay. Step 4, the P2P campaign will be hosted for duration about 2 weeks until the fund is fully subscribed by investors. Let's say you need 500,000. So they will put up the fact sheet and they will put up a campaign on the P2P platform. I will show later on. And then whoever that is interested, they can park their money to invest in those companies, and the return is from investors' standpoint, I believe is much better than whatever the banking offering today. Okay. At the same time, they also helping the businesses to grow. So this is it's like a community project. It's a social enterprise, because everyone is helping each other. It's a circular economy. You know, the public ensures that the businesses receive a sufficient capital for them to sustain and grow the market, and the economy will come back to them. It's like a circular economy. Okay. And then step 5, the amount raised has to reach a threshold of at least 80% of the targeted amount raised. So in the first amount just now, if they require 500,000, then they have to have at least 80% subscribed, means 400,000 taken up. Their investment is taken up. If not, then they have to return back to the investors. Okay, step 6, the P2P company will disburse the amount raised from all investors, and also their duty to collect the amount from businesses by the due date, including with the ROI. So once the P2P collected the money from the businesses, then the return and including the capital will be dispersed back to all their investors into their own e-wallets. Okay, so the process is simple. So if the money is there, or the investors can top up the money, then they can invest, and the money will go back to the investment account once they have received the money back from the entrepreneur. So from there on, either investors can withdraw or keep on the same process to grow their money. It's a good way as well to basically to counter the inflation, yeah, because the FD rate is quite low at the moment. Okay. So of eligibility for alternative financing. This is how actually your credit is assessed. Basically, they are using two main scoring system. It depends on the institution, but mainly they will refer to SICRIS, which is under Bank Negara. It's called Central Credit Reference Information System, which is a report or statement on all your bank loans available in under all the banks in Asia. And also CITOS, which is actually derived from Credit Tip-Off Services, is a credit reporting agency which is regulated under the Registrar of Credit Reporting Agencies. And the other one is also called Experia, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Experia. Because at one time CITOS having some cyber threat, so they some of them for Experia to gauge the businesses or the entrepreneurs, the gauge on the credit standing before for basically for the platforms to take up thing, then you are good. Your probability of default will be about 1.2%. This is what they have in the website. So you want to be in the A, B, C category. So this is no missing payment, you know, or maybe you have missed one payment in the last 12 months, but you don't want below, because that will signal that your financial situation might have distress circumstances. So you try not to have any missed payments, you know, especially on your loans, your car loans, your maybe whatever it has to do with the financial institution. Okay, so keep that as a good record. And if you have a good record, then the passing chances or the ability for you to secure credit from alternative funding is also high. Okay. Okay, this is, I think some of you might have seen this before. Business individuals will be evaluated on their credit scoring. So they have this dashboard to basically have that a glance on your credit scoring. So from here they know that, you know, at what level they are comfortable with. Are you a high risk or low risk company, organization, personal? So they would have this. Okay, but for alternative financing, this is not only the only criteria that they're looking at, like banks. They are looking also at the paymaster. Is also very, very important. The paymaster. Sometimes the paymaster is big, a global company, a MNC, a GLC, a government, you know, but they might be a bit slow in payment. So that's why they still can accept to basically bridge that payment for you. As long that the paymaster is strong, then the possibility that alternative funding will go ahead and grant you this the crowdfunding opportunity. Okay, SICRIS is by Bank Negara, so I don't want to. I'm just showing you the template so you can have a look at it. Please go to your nearest Bank Negara, or you can apply online to see your own credit scoring. It'll be a good we call it a good practice to intermittently to check on your credit scoring, because you don't want to have some surprises along the way. Okay, so you can just download your own scoring and just check. Maybe you might overlook certain payments, so from there on, at least you know you can clean up your records. Okay. Other methods of alternative financing. This is has been there for quite some time, but not many people look into it. As I mentioned just now, by having equity, the common shares, we can raise money from issuing common shares. If you know the method, there is a method for you to actually print the shares and secure capital for your company. if you're all interested to know more, later on you can contact me. The fundraising will be issuance of new company shares. You have to you cannot offer to anyone on the street to buy a company shares. You have to have a proper guideline. Maybe you need two important documents. One is called info memo, and the other one is called term sheet. This has to be lodged to Securities Commission and also SSM, and once you want to raise, you have to only approach sophisticated investors or high net worth or even angel investors in this case. By issuing fundraising through issuance of equity or also even preference shares, you have to satisfy the requirements set forward by Securities Commission and also Bank Negara. Securities Commission, you have to put in the more to them before the peer-to-peer financing key statistics. As of this report is available on SE website, under alternative financing. As of 30th September 2021, there's 25,259 successful campaigns, and by now I think it really surpassed 30,000. 1.94 billion amount raised with 3,824 successful issuers. So it has benefited 3,824 companies, and they have raised that amount. 1.94 billion is huge amount, and I think this the rate of the rate of take up on crowdfunding has increased over the years. So if you are new to it, please check it out. It is a new tool for businesses to secure their capital. Okay. The distribution of fundraising amount, actually you can see 71% is actually requiring 50,000 ringgit and below, so not that much. And the rest, 50,000 to 200,000 is 22%, and above 200,000 is 7%. I've seen few crowdfunding companies even grant more than 500,000, up to 2 million, 3 million. And the threshold for each crowdfunding company, they can have exposure of 25 million per company. So you have at one time you can have exposure of 25 million per company, so you can raise, but given that your company is excellent immaculate condition, so you can raise millions of ringgit. It's not only you can raise 10,000 or 20,000, but in this case he has shown that he are able to give you financing options of especially 50,000 and below is a lot, but they are allowed to even raise fund for each company up to 25 million. And the type of investors, I think you might want to look into this, and hopefully it will open up for you to become one of the investors. Okay, can see 87% are REIT and makcik and pakcik to invest in your business, and actually makcik pakcik and also the younger ones. Okay, because you can see 87%, and then you have angel, you also have a sophisticated high net worth individual, and also institution 1%, and I believe institution will come in big way very, very soon. But the age demographic again, you can see that 60% of the investors are from the age of below 35. If you combine the 35 to 45 and below 35, you can have 85% of the investors' profiles are below 45 years of age. So that's wow, right? So the young generation, they always call it adventurous to find new investment opportunity that give a better return than the conventional system that we have currently. So equity crowdfunding key statistics, we have 236 successful campaign. They have raised 352 million. Equity crowdfunding, the difference is that I think they are taking more of a long-term horizon, and some of them are looking for until IPO. So I think that's why the equity crowdfunding, you have to have a longer holding power to your investment. Okay, so they have 222 successful issuers, and most of it goes to a pitch in actually. Okay, you can see this 4% is raising 500,000 to 1.5 million. I think this is the 1/3 of it, and the rest are raising 500,000 below. And there's also companies that raising more than 3 million. I've seen a few companies that has raised 3 million, especially the ones that has traction and also have that team, the latest thing in town. Let's say they have a robo advisor, they have let's say technology driven, so they would basically lure all the investors, especially the one that they can see prospecting going towards IPO. Okay, the type of demographic with the investors very similar to just now. We have 62% retail investors with angel 23%, and then the age demographic, the 35 to 45, basically below 45 years old, takes the lion's share, or 77% of the investors profile. So conclusion, alternative financing will play more significant role in economic development by funding the SMEs in Malaysia. Both investors and companies could benefit from this initiative. What I can say is that the more capital into SMEs, you can see more flourishing SMEs in Malaysia. New businesses will pop up, so and then it will generate economic activities, employment, and whatnot. So I think it's also best for us to participate, not to only look at it from lending perspective, but also to invest into the Malaysian economy. Okay, thank you. This is my contact. If you want to contact me more, we can discuss some, maybe I can give you enlightenment on few areas that you want to have, you are looking into. So I would like to share with you on the websites. Let's go through the other crowdfunding websites. Yeah, hang on. Okay, all right. The first one I've chosen is Etis.co. They are companies or operating in few companies in few countries as well. You can see this is how actually the ECF is conducted. So they have this coming soon. So they have the teaser for you, and then they have open for investment, the currently ongoing, and then the funds that's been concluded. So you can see AutoWheel is ongoing campaign. They have is a SaaS service solution, software as a solution, based in KL. So at the moment they have people have been pledging 6.2%. They are looking for 2.5 million maximum with a target dividend payout of 12% per annum. So investors will look at this, so they see whether it's something that they are keen to invest, then they can come in and go to the portal to invest. Okay, so the minimum, as what I mentioned just now, the minimum goal is 500,000, the maximum goal is 2.5, and they have raised so far 13,000, and they have another 30 more days to go. Okay, let's say for this company, they have fully subscribed. People have pledged 155.95 or 156%, and they have raised 135% with a target dividend payout of 25%. they have raised 473,000, which they have a maximum goal of 500,000. So this is something that you want to look into. You can click view and perhaps you can see what's in it. There's more information on the project, the detail of the project. Oh, I think we have to log in. So I think I just skip that and go to Pitchin. Pitchin is another ECF company. They are the largest, I can say, in Malaysia, doing ECF for businesses. Okay, so you can see the same, I think almost the same layout, modus operandi. Basically, you have companies listed, and then you can see how many percent has been pledged and how many days more to go to complete the campaign. Okay, you can play around, register yourself and play around with it and see how it fits to your investment profile, or even businesses who want to raise fund would see this on how actually they fundraise. Okay, next one, Atta Plus is also an ECF company. They are here. I think you can go to atta-plus.com. So they also have a few ongoing campaigns. Musang Valley Agro, that sounds interesting. KL Energy. So they have different businesses on board. Okay, for P2P, I would like to share on MoneySafe. MoneySafe, this is how actually they are very comprehensive in terms of the information that they gather for the investors to evaluate. So they have the notes here. So this is number 822. The credit scoring, they are using Experian, as what I mentioned just now. The effective rate is 11%, and the flat rate is 11%, but the effective rate is about 18.62%. So this company is looking for 108,000 financing. Okay, and then how many days left? It's all taken up. You can see here it's all days left, 29 days left, and it's all taken up. So it's like goreng pisang panas. So everyone you all should join in the fund, okay, to invest small amounts, but it's meaningful for all the businesses. So you got all the ratings. So whether you wanna invest on these ratings, you can even view the profile, the fact sheet. Yeah, let me see if I can open up the fact sheet. Okay, you can see here. Nature of business: the company is a manufacturer of air conditioner parts. They've been this company has been operating since 2013. They are trying to raise, as what I mentioned just now, they are trying to raise how much? They are trying to raise 137,240. Okay, the value of the invoices, but they are just raising 108,000, means that they're giving 75% of that amount. So if you look at it, you can see all the profiles and everything. Then if you like what you see, then you can just go on and invest. So this is the fact sheet. Yeah, I think it goes same to crowdfunder, as well as this also SME fact sheet. Even funding societies having the same. So you see they have financed 7.9 billion ringgit, but I think they are in 4 countries: Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, and Indonesia as well. So with the number of financings, 4.9 million notes they have issued out with a 1.41% default rate and 100% financing fulfillment rate, as what I mentioned. So I think I guess that's it. I hope I have given a very good overview on what is alternative financing and how actually it can help the entrepreneurs out there, the SMEs, and also not only them, but we are helping the local economy. Therefore, I thank you for everyone for your time to listen to the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Djuan, for your presentation and for your sharing. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our session for today. I would like to thank our speaker for taking time off his busy schedule to share on the topic that was given to him, and also for everyone who has tuned in to listen to the presentation today. So with that, have a great day and God bless.